Hi, I'm Brianna Medeiros, and I'm the Community Engagement Manager for CIEE High School Study Abroad programs. Students and parents alike often have questions about what our programs look like in terms of free time and curfews. Today I am joined by Tanya Huitron, a Global Education Advisor, to give you an understanding of CIEE's rules for participants to explore their destinations on their own. Thank you, Tanya, for meeting me today.
Thanks so much for having me, Brianna. Before being the Global Education Advisor in Texas and Colorado, I was a Spanish instructor and program coordinator in the high school summer abroad programs in Mexico. So I'm really excited to be here to help answer some of the most common questions that we hear from families.
Awesome, thank you. And a unique perspective on our team, right? Because you've lived it and you've been on site with these teens in terms of navigating free time and curfew. So what does free time mean on CIEE programs?
That's a great question. Global Navigator programs are highly structured, and while most significant amount of time will be planned, there will also be intentional pockets of free time to allow students to explore areas of interest and to get to know their program location.
Okay. And so what are the rules about exploring the city during free time?
Well, while on free time, all programs rules remain in effect. Participants should always be with a buddy and in regular touch with their program leaders when on free time.
And so are students allowed to go off alone? The answer is no, but can you explain to me what the buddy system is and why it's important?
Of course. So CIEE expects students to explore with a peer. Outside of their commute to and from program location, so for example, from their homestay to the CIE center, they should always be with someone else. This includes anything from running to a coffee shop or grocery store between activities to going to visit a museum during their free time, for example. We know this might be new for some students who live in urban areas and are used to navigating alone. However, it is an important safety measure that CIEE takes as students explore their program's location often for the first time.
And so at the end of the day, how does curfew work? How is it determined and why does it vary by location?
Right. So curfew is the time at which all students are required to return to their homestay or group housing accommodation. These curfews are in place at the discretion of the staff at each program location, as they are best able to consider what is safe and culturally appropriate. So for example, curfew in Spain, where dinner is typically eaten around 10 p.m., and where the sun is out late, is much different than in Buenos Aires, where in the winter, during the program, the sun sets at 5 p.m. So adhering to the stated curfew time is a program rule, and the students should proactively plan how they will return to their accommodation in order to be back in time.
As somebody who has worked on the programs, on these very same programs that these teams will be traveling to, what is your best piece of advice to offer teens so that they can make the most of their free time abroad while still staying safe?
Yes, so we encourage students to research their program location and what is available in their city. We also encourage them to review the outcomes calendar that they can find in my CIE account to see if an experience is already booked for them, or if they should arrange this on their own. They will hear this many times throughout their program, but they should always have their phone charged on, stay with a buddy at all times, and be home by curfew.
Thank you so much, Tanya. This has definitely been helpful in answering a lot of the questions about how free time is structured on programs. So just as a reminder, yes, there is free time and students are allowed to explore the city in designated hours of the program, but it is important to always be with a peer, always be in touch with your program leader, and to make sure that you are back at your homestay or at whatever accommodations you're staying at by the curfew of your city center. So
Thank you, Brianna. It was my pleasure. And remember, CIE staff members are wonderful resources should your student be looking for ways to fill their free time or need help navigating their program location. And when in doubt, they should just ask.
Yeah. Thank you, Tanya.